you along the refit of Freebirds, an Etincelle 60. She partially sank in Japan during COVID and grounded on a beach. This year the owner decided to bring her back to life. During several months she was prepared to sail to Thailand. We put an external plywood patch over the damaged area, built a temporary rudder, put a new engine in and a lot more. We then sailed her over 4,000 nautical miles, mostly against wind, to start her major refit. Alright, it's week 2. In this episode we'll talk a bit more about the cabin top than the hull repair. You will see the hull repair actually looks more or less the same as in last episode. It's still a big hole. We didn't start planking yet, but we finished with all the prep work in terms of sanding, sanding the bilges and the forward locker also, that's all sanded down. The same looking towards the back. Now the ultimate goal in here is to obviously have a new planking on here. So with the contractors we discussed to probably build another temporary bulkhead in here that will then support the planking to just give it a nicer shape. Gonna take the dimensions for this bulkhead from the other side from the hull in this section, so we should get a perfectly symmetrical image. And once this is done we can obviously glass and everything. We got also this whole subfloor construction out. That's all plywood, simply plywood, no color or anything. Most of it looks good, but you see it has been quite abused in certain ways. And it will be just peace of mind to have this all done in foam, knowing that no rot can come in. The bulkheads, the main bulkheads, they look fine in this section of the boat. I talked last week about the rot that was in here, but all in all that's fairly good. And let's move further back and we go up to see the engine room. It's now all stripped out, and for sure this bulkhead will be changed. You see all the holes that have been drilled. We drilled them oversized to see what's in there, and there's a lot of wet balsa in different spots. Otherwise also here the bilges are sanded. There was quite a bit of rot in this area here, which is a bit worrying also because there was the rudder post glued onto it, or like even the glass that goes on there. So that's now all out. Also the hydraulic steering was connected here. That's now gone. There was a little table here and all that is gone. So the ultimate plan in here will be to have this floor that was still with openable floorboards and had drains coming all the way from the back, to close this bulkhead completely off, have the whole stern area here as a watertight compartment, have this floor, like build another floor in, close here, so this whole area will be another watertight compartment, and then in a really simple way have the rest of the engine compartment built up. Same on the other side. We'll mention what happened here in a second. Also what happened down here, just to stay in more of a rhythm and to see what's happened after the other. So that's the engine room, more or less a mirror, same with the floor. What was here a bit worse is the back bulkhead. So that was, we had to take that out nearly completely. See only the top section, that is still okay. But everywhere where this rudder post has been glued to, that was completely rotten, and it was holding on just the fiberglass layer that was still alright. Crazy, yeah, how stable this construction is built to the hull. because there was not much force to give onto the bulkhead. Otherwise, same in here, everything's stripped out. Interesting detail here is the bulkhead here. That was only ply. Well, there's ply and the balsa in the middle, but there is no glass on top of it, which I was very astonished to see. I don't know why is that, if that's on purpose or no. Then this bulkhead here also will be entirely changed. There was rot even going up here, you can hardly see it probably. So that's where it goes into the aft cabin. That's the bed basically from the aft cabin. And also in here we had to take a bit of the balsa out. Alright, so now we can move towards a fairly new bit. So this week, apart from some demolition work, not much happened, because we also tried to set up how we work with our contractors and get this kind of thing sorted out. But anyway, we found some other projects. Just like this floor, there was a teak floor in here, took that off, and that was just glued onto this glass layer, and then the sandwich like everywhere in the boat, ply, balsa ply, and that was quite bad in many spots. The fiberglass here, we could literally just peel it off easily like a piece of paper. I didn't open underneath here, but I also feel that there are weak spots, just like here or here, where there were really big water intrusion. And the worst for sure is this bit here. So that pole takes the whole load of the middle section of the roof, and probably therefore over time it was just not backed up strong enough. So it just probably cracked into the fiberglass. Water could run in and then destroy the balsa, making it even worse of it pressing down further. So yeah, that will be another project. Probably just remove from the top, have the bottom glass still in place, support that from underneath so we can still walk on it, and then have it replaced with foam glass. Alright, so more interesting part now, cabin top. So eventually that's going to be all higher, and the view out here should be even better than right now. But it is already fairly good. So that line here, you can see that will rise another 15 centimeters. Not sure exactly where that is. And yeah, that will give a lot of room in here, and also have a better view, completely surrounding view. So here helm station is off. What will happen with this is that the whole helm will have to be raised up as well. Just like the bulkhead will have to follow the new curve of the roof, obviously. So that's going to raise, and therefore that's going to raise. Not sure if there's going to be a step or somehow to then get it off better. That will be a really cool project in here. I think in the cockpit there's a lot to win with the roof being higher. Sorry for this part, I think I lost myself with explaining way too much details for how to build the new cabin top, so I just made this little voiceover to give a quick overview of the two options we have. I see two different options to build this cabin top. In both cases we first build a whole framework on top of the old cabin top to get the desired height for the new cabin top. We then, in the first scenario, put down the foam straight onto that, use fasteners to get the desired shape and fill all the gaps with thickened epoxy. And then we can vacuum the outer layer of the fiberglass straight onto this and finish with a peel ply that we then also can use to glue a strong back straight onto that, which then allows to take the cabin top off and turn it upside down without it losing its shape, so we then can make the inside fiberglass layer. The other idea would be to put the wet glass fiber down and have the foam vacuumed straight onto that. So we create the inner shell, the foam, and then we can, in a second stage, create the outer layer of the fiberglass, vacuum that on. This would have the big advantage that we don't have to build a strong back around it, but it comes with the challenge that we have to put the foam down very quickly once the epoxy, or before the epoxy cures. So apart from using the old shape, we're going to modify the front quite a bit. You see that how currently the angle is quite flat. So what's going to happen in here is probably following this line where the beam is. There will be just a completely vertical window, or like the whole front of the cabin and windows in there. So just to gain much more view outside, and also to have less heating up from the sun. Maybe there's even going to be a bit of an overhang from the roof to provide a bit more shadow. Going to see about that. And to not destroy the whole look of the boat, what will happen here is that this flange will actually stay. It will probably be moved out a bit, like have that shape a bit twisted. But what this will give is that the boat from the side will look still more or less the same. So still have this curve, not have the curved cabin top and then suddenly a drop. All right, so next week, I hoped we could have started this week, but it's going to be next week. We're going to build this whole frame, and it's going to look more or less like this, with a batten on top, and these small wood pieces, they obviously have to be much higher, and the exact height for this I started writing down here. So while here on the side it's going to raise this 12 centimeters, allowing for an internal height of 15 centimeters more. Here in the middle it's actually going to rise only 7 centimeters, because this middle part is already quite high. So what happens is that the middle will rise a bit lower or less, and then accordingly the numbers go out. Like here we have a raising of 8, 9, 10, 11, and the further to the front we go, that number also goes up from 7 to 8. So there will be like curves just like this with the same height improvement. That's maybe already a bit more too complicated the way I explain it than it actually is, but the idea is to really get this old shape of the cabin top. Yeah, that's the plan, and that's going to happen next week. The workshop has to be improved a lot. There's the storage area, but it's by far not enough. It's crazy how much stuff there is on a boat. So I already started improvising, putting stuff down here, but there will be much more. There has to be a real workbench, not this fuzzy stuff here. And on the other side, we're making a big laminating table to get all our pre-made boards and stuff to laminate whatever possible off the boat, and then just glue it in on the boat itself. Yeah, I think that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed, and give you a bit of a view. All right, hopefully see you soon out there. Have a good one. Cheers.